So, where did the concept come from, or the idea then for this? Because I know you from the TV. I mean, obviously, I know you. I've even seen your books. I've read one of your books. But how did the concept come? Because I know with the Escape to this Chateau, it's what it is. What it says on the tin. You know, you've got a chateau in France. You've done it up. You're still doing it up, and all the rest. But how come? You know, where did the idea come from? This sort of this tour.
We have an awful lot of people who write to us and ask questions and want to hear more about our story, really, about why we did it, how we did it.
Yeah.
And because the television series, remember, is nice light entertainment on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
But, you know, why did we do it? Who are we? What motivated us to actually make such a big sort of decision?
Yeah.
All of those things are not really covered by the telly. And when we get stopped, when we come back home, back in the UK, I was back in Northern Ireland last week, and literally we have people everywhere we go. People talk to us and want to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, it's quite hard to get across our rest of our story, more details. We've written a book, which is the Dare to Do It sort of book, which gives people a feel for it. Okay. But I think people just want to look you in the eye, and they want to ask you questions. And we thought, well, we have events where people come to us, but not everybody can get to France.
Yeah.
It's much easier if we go to people and give them a chance to come along and see us, hear what we have to say, and ask questions, there. And they can just sort of... There's a lot of people who are just interested in the reality of it and want to know what's it like, can we do it, and I think that's where we come into our own on a tour.
Right.
We will be talking to people in a much more intimate way, in a way that they will be able to sort of ask us questions as well.
Right, that makes sense. 'Cause I know with the TV, it's edited all the time. They edit it to get it out because they want people to watch it. It's got to be watchable. You don't want to film someone just painting a wall for an hour. You've got to sort of get the edit in there.
There's only so much you can get into a program.
Yeah.
And the television, it's interesting. We have people come here, and they one of the comments which is reoccurring is we are the same as we are on telly. Yeah. That's who we are. Yeah. So I know our production company and the way it's done is we try and keep it as real as possible, and we, that's very, very important that they don't sort of. It's not. You don't sort of come across jeopardy and drama that's not there. We both think about what we're doing. We wouldn't have jumped into this just to waste money and to end up crying and stuff like that. That's not who we are. We're planners. Angela comes from an entrepreneurial accountancy as well as designer background. I'm an ex-army colonel, for goodness sake. I worked in industry for period. We are actually sensible. And that's one of the things that our television programs are all about, being sensible and just sort of knowing you can do it if you just think about it.
It's like you just touched on there. I mean, you obviously are a pragmatist. With being in the army, being a colonel, you've got to be, everything's got to be, by time, it's strict. You plan in advance. Prior preparation prevents piss poor planning. The old P's and all that.
Absolutely.
But and obviously with Angela, she obviously comes from an entrepreneurial background and being an accountant, so they're pernickety as well with figures. So you've obviously gone into this with both your head together, are very, very you couldn't get any better. Do you know what I mean? But what made the decision buy the place in the first place, though?
Well, I'll come back to the first place. One other thing about that plan, it's interesting, the last bathroom we put into the chateau, I connected the last pipe for the bathroom to the first pipe I put in when I was putting in the first system.
Oh, okay.
So that planning pays off. Yeah. We don't waste money by thinking, but we see, our idea was to have a simpler life and to enjoy the fact the French are known not to sort of to have long lunch breaks and to actually have weekends off. Where we live in France, there are no shops open on a Sunday. You can't go shopping on a Sunday. The shops, the big supermarkets, not supermarkets as such, but the big DIY shops like the B&Q and Home Base equivalents, they shut at lunchtime for 2 hours.
Bloody hell.
And you get kicked out. So all the big shops, except for they all shut. When you go to a town, you do not pay for your parking between 12 and 2. The parking's free because that's when you have lunch. There's a very different mindset.
Yeah.
And there's no sort of retail therapy in the same way.
Yeah.
People expect to have Sundays, no shops open, and just having family time and just enjoying life. it's so different from being at home, especially London. Yeah, we have not got a 24 hours a day sort of mentality here at all, at all, and that is part of what we aspire to, because we've made the decision we're going to have children, and then Arthur and Dorothy came along. How do we have the life which is best for them, best for us? And that was all part of our decision making. And that's what we're going to explain in the tour, why we did what we did.
Yeah.
I hear an awful lot of excuses. People would, I'd love to do it, but. And I'm afraid to say the but means that you're making an excuse.
Yes.
You don't have a reason.
Yes.
And we part of what we were talking about is the fact that, I was over 50 when I met Angela. You know what I mean? And here we are living in a castle with young children now.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to fill your life. No. And that's the bottom line is, there's no excuse not to do it.
Exactly. It's like you just said, the but is what stops a lot of people. 99% of people, 99 out of 100 people would say that but. It's always that but. But if you can do it, you can do it and do it. But that's the thing, just do it. You want to create... You want to create sort of wanderlust or something like that in people that come to the shows to say, just get up and do it. Plan it, obviously. Don't just go
But the dream doesn't have to be a castle in France.
No.
The dream can be change your career, write your novel. The dream can be anything, but it's there to do what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And for us, it involves a castle, and it involves just silly things. Who buys a castle?
Yeah.
Especially with no water, electricity, heating, or sewage. Yeah. That's a stupid thing to do. But actually, it's not, because we wanted what we wanted, and we've got it.
Yeah.
But you see, if somebody just wants to sort of get on a boat and sail around the world, get on a boat and sail around the world.
Yeah.
Do what you want. We only live once, and we have to sort of find a way through. And it's too easy to sort of wish. Regrets aren't usually made about what you do. It's usually made from what you don't do.
Totally.
I think it's... But you have to think. And that's the bit that comes back. Our television series isn't all drama and car crash and, people crying and wailing and sort of thinking, oh, this is terrible, what are we going to do? Yeah. People don't watch it as a voyeur watching us fuck up.
Yeah.
What they do is they sit down and they think, oh, look at those little kiddies growing up and having a lovely time. It's great because the grandparents are here as well. Nick's family are involved. They come from Northern Ireland. All of those stories are just, it's warm. It's a lovely, warm thing. And you can make your life like that if you're prepared to do it. Totally. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
But that's actually, you have to work hard at it.
It's true.
It's not just luck.
Yeah, it is. It's like with me, I did the same. I set up my own little swim business and then do the writing full time as well. So I've got the best life in the world. But I made that decision age 40, and it's my birthday today, so I'm 46 today. I know your birthday was the other day, wasn't it? So you were 60, was it, 3 days ago?
60 on Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, you.
So, mate, happy birthday today, fella. And by the way, what a pup. God, I don't even remember 46. It was so long ago. Only a pup.
I know. I feel like it. I mean, I'm quite. I look after myself. You got to, haven't you? But how did? Can you say?
Youngster.
Yeah, I am a youngster. Yeah, but I'm older than Angela, so that's something.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So how did you both meet, though? What was the story? I mean, my wife and daughter watch your show religiously on the TV. I mean, every single show. I get in now and again if I'm not doing an event on a Sunday, because I do work Sundays a lot. Going out and about, but I tend to watch it. But they watch it religiously. But they've said, how did you both meet? I mean, I think you touched on it on the show, but is that how you? I mean, how did you both meet?
No, we met. Angela was on Dragon's Den.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And a couple of the dragons sort of chose to back her.
Yeah.
And my agent went and saw Angela and sort of said, you'll be great on telly. Can I be your agent, please? Oh. And so Sophie, who I'd known for years, I knew Sophie when I was a major in the army. The very first sort of scrappy challenges, the very early days of scrappy back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I met her because I competed against her husband, and she said, "I want to be your television agent." And I said, "Don't be so bloody ridiculous! I'm an army colonel. That's not going to happen." And then all that happened is, years later, she's my agent looking after me.
Yeah.
So I've known Sophie for years and years.
Yeah.
And Angela, she saw what the Angela could be, and so can I be your agent?
Yeah.
And so we get introduced. And because I was divorced, and we just sort of met very briefly at Sophie's birthday party. But then not long after, we went out together for an evening, and we haven't been apart since.
Yeah, no, it's proper love story. I mean, you can see the chemistry you both on the TV. It's just, it's a proper love story,
No, one of the things which is a bit sort of people don't talk about, you don't sort of, it's all a bit sort of wrong. We talk about passion and passion for life and energy, and that's. Our life is full of. We have really good arguments, but we're also we're fueled by energy and love, and by sort of all sorts of things coming together.
Yeah.
And passion, you got to care. I think there's nothing worse than people go through life trying to be mediocre or just being gentle and not caring enough.
Yeah.
And one thing we do have is we've got lots of sort of constructive, positive things going on between us, and that to me is, that's what life is about.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, you must have some sort of ding dongs about some of the things you do to the chateau. I mean, you can see it on the TV.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, we do, of course we do. But actually, the thing is, we do have. Angela doesn't do compromise in any way, shape, or form. As a designer, you can't afford to. As an artist, you can't afford to, because otherwise you end up being mediocre.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. She's very, very good at what, because her vision is obviously, and she pushes it through. But when it comes to decisions on the chateau things, we both have a veto, which means, if something I say no to, it's no. If something she says no to, it's no.
Yeah.
But then we have to say if there's something in the middle that we both want to try and get. So it's important. It is important to try and get that balance.
Right. Okay. That's right. I mean, it's that connection, isn't it? Once you've got that connection with somebody, you know each other. Like you say, you got that veto. I mean, with the chateau, though, I mean, I know you do. This is just like a question I've always wanted to ask, and you only rent it out for weddings, don't you?
You're breaking up on the face. Sorry. You're breaking up. I don't know how you're speaking.
Is that better?
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, that's better. Yes,
sorry. With the chateau, is it only still rented out for weddings, or can people then? Are you going to turn it into like a hotel type thing?
Oh, no, it's definitely not a hotel. No, it's only for events.
Yeah.
And we've never done bed and breakfast or anything like that, because that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, okay.
So we've always done events, and we do occasions and things here. But that's because we have to try and generate some time for the family.
Yeah.
Why try and live the French dream if you're permanently working?
Yeah.
So that's why we try and keep some time to ourselves.
Yeah.
And as well as that, we are actually making television programs as well, so we do need to be able to work. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if you're a hotel, it would be a bit boring, wouldn't it, if people just turn up? But I mean, how did the idea? How did the idea for the TV come about then? The TV program for the Chateau to the Chateau.
Well, you see, the thing is, I from 2003 onwards, I've been a television star. I've actually been a television presenter.
Yeah. And
what we wanted to do, we knew was going to be interesting. And so we said, right, okay. It wasn't a definite. We just thought, let's explore whether or not we want somebody to follow us doing what we're going to do.
Okay.
And so we had a very definite idea, and our idea was very definitely, it was one way of possibly sort of earning at the chateau.
Yeah.
That's not too shy. One way of doing it. The other thing was it had to be right. And we weren't. I've got actually up in my office a list of all the revenue streams we thought of for the when we moved to the chateau, how we could make money to live. Yeah. And 3 from the bottom, it says Channel 5. You know what I mean? Because some of the channels was interesting, but there's about sort of 20 ideas before that.
Yeah.
And what we did was, it was just sort of serendipity in that we sort of ended up with saying, we want to do this. Somebody saying, all right, we're interested in seeing. To begin with, all the discussions were quite sort of robust, because we were never going to agree to somebody following us to make a series that we didn't want to make.
Yeah.
We couldn't have all of this overly dramatized, ramped up Jeopardy type thing. We refused to do that completely.
Yeah.
And so what we said, it has to be real. You have to follow it, and it has to. And that's something we've stuck by our guns.
Yeah.
And so all the way through, we've made sure that follow us when we got something that's worth following, and it just shows. We just wanted it to be real. We didn't want it to be sort of one of these
bullshit. You don't want the bullshit.
Entertainment programs.
Yeah, you don't want to be like The Only Way is Essex and all that crap.
Absolutely. Well, I can't say that, but no, absolutely not.
Yeah, because that's the kernel in you, that is. You stuck to your guns.
You have to know that to begin with.
Yeah, you do.
It's really important. You have your objective.
Yeah.
You know what you're aiming for right at the very beginning.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Is it just you there? Is Angela there as well, or is it just yourself?
Because you're talking to me, she's actually we've got some guests. We've got a wedding starting.
Oh no, it's all right.
She's talking to the guests.
Yeah, because Debbie said to speak to both of you, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you're more than I appreciate your time anyway. That's fine.
Well, thank you.
No, it's fine. But no, I could ask you more questions. I mean, I'm not sure how long I've got left with you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got people waiting for me, so whenever you're ready.
Right, okay.
Well, fire away.
No, I was just going to say, have you watched The Biggest Regret then about with the Chateau?
Regret?
Yeah, any regrets with anything? None.
There is no regrets, and that's not said lightly. That's not a sort of a no, everything's perfect.
Mm.
It is. We've made the right decision.
Yeah.
All the way through. There hasn't been any sort of low points where you're pulling your hair out and thinking, oh no, what are we going to do? We've not done that.
Mm.
We've planned it through, and because we had a plan, and we do A followed by B followed by C, we've actually been very, very lucky, and it's just sort of, we worked hard at it, and that's why, you know what, if there's a problem, we fix it.
Mm.
It's as simple as that. If there's a problem, we fix it. And there's no regrets whatsoever.
Mm.
There genuinely isn't, because we're just sort of living a life fully, and just we smile a lot. We were talking about it this morning actually with the kids.
Mm.
Before we took them off to school, and Arthur and Dorothy are bilingual. They're the only English speakers in the school, and they're going off to school, and then they're having a little chat. So I'm thinking, it's a very, very lucky situation to be in.
Yeah,
we've made some good decisions.
Yeah. I'd love to be in your shoes. I'm honestly, I'm inspired, and every time when I get to see the show, I'm thinking, I wish that was me doing that.
But we tell people, to be fair, we've aimed at a very silly thing, and we pulled off a very big silly thing.
Yeah. You
can buy a manor house here for around 50k.
Seriously?
A manor house is a mansion. You can buy one for 50k.
Jesus.
And it isn't anywhere near the work we've got, but you can end up living in a manor house.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you put that into context.
Yeah.
But you have to sort of decide how you're going to fund yourself, how you're going to live, what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say to everybody go and buy a chateau. It's not everybody's dream.
Yeah.
But if you actually think about living the simple life, you can buy a farm over here. For next to, you can buy a farm. You can buy small holdings. You can have a big house. You can have a townhouse. But the sort of things you have to want the life.
Yeah.
And dude, can you imagine having no shops open on a Sunday and 2-hour lunch breaks? That's what you get. That's what you get in rural France.
Yeah.
Come on, it puts life into context. Well, are we working to live or living to work?
Yes. I can just say where I live. I live in the west of Cardiff by the sea. It's countryside, so it's very rural. The nearest shop's 3 miles away, but they are open. And I understand what you're saying. I've lived in London. I've lived all over the world, and I've chose to live here. But the picture you've just painted then of the properties in France, it's something I could do. I could live off my army pensions. You could
do this job. You could do what you're doing now from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sitting in my office looking out the window over my old garden.
Bloody
hell. You know what I mean? there's no reason why you should. You can type on the internet anywhere in the world now.
No, it's true, mate. You're right. I mean, I'm sitting outside the post office where he's pissing down the rain, looking at houses. No, well, thank you for your time. I know you're busy anyway, but I'll come and see you in Cardiff with my wife and daughter. I might come and say hello as well or something else. That's Debbie, if that's okay. But anyway.
Say again?
I say I might come and say hello to you and Angela if in Cardiff if that's allowed. In Cardiff. So.
Oh, please do. Absolutely must. Come and say hello, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the reason why we're going around the place is because people can't come to us easily, but if we're there, I expect people to come and say hello, and we will be very approachable. Don't worry, we will be around. It's interesting because there's so many people to chat to in so little time, but we do spend all our time talking to people. That's what we do.
Wonderful, wonderful. No, it's been an amazing talking to you, mate. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good to speak to you as well. Keep up the hard work.
I will.
Go for it.
I knew.
All the very best, Paul. Cheers, mate.
Oh, mate, nice one, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.